All right, good morning. This is Bob Passy again, and I am going to talk a little bit more about this very strange and bizarre election that we're having this year. It's very unique to this country and something we have not seen before and hopefully will never see again. But part of it is because we're in the midst of some major changes in what the political parties are, the major political parties. It's kind of a shifting tectonic plates in a way. The Republican Party, or what used to be the Republican Party, has shifted very far to the right and is now probably equivalent to a nationalistic right-wing party like some of the parties in Europe that tend to be almost neo-Nazi kind of parties. I wouldn't say that we've gone that far, but it's that kind of tendency. It's giving voice to the people who are frustrated and tired because nothing is working very well, especially economically, since we're in a market-based governance almost all over the world, and market-based governance pretty much doesn't care about all the ordinary people except getting the money into the pockets of the very rich. Anyway, so we have a sort of populist, ultra-nationalist party that used to be the Republican Party that left a vacuum in the middle, that the sort of establishment, and that niche has been claimed by the National Democratic Party, who is now sort of the new Republican Party. They are the establishment, and they are connected deeply with big money and corporations, and that means that clearly now there's this whole segment of ordinary folks that just have no party that represents them. I mean, they can go to the extreme party on the right, and for some of them, that's better than nothing. They have no voice. The Democratic Party, the way it's constructed now and the way nationally, the way it's going, is really about big money. And so you have all the people, for instance, that supported Bernie, kind of left out in the cold. Now, Hillary says that this is, it's almost a fear sort of based campaign, that it is so awful what Trump is suggesting to have an ultra and right-wing nationalist party possibly taking over, that the sort of establishment, let's continue on the same trajectory that we've had since the beginning of the 21st century that has been just devastating to ordinary people. Let's just continue that on for the next 4 years or the next 8 years, and that's way better than, well, than a nationalist party, except it's not very good. People are going to be hurting. It's sort of like putting the decline, putting a smiley face on the decline, and that is exactly what happened with the Obama administration. All the measures for ordinary people have pretty much gone down. Now the economy has improved, but that's all gone into the pockets of the people on the top. So it's been an improvement based on in our name and on our dime, and we have not gotten any benefits from it. And the Clinton administration is now trying to suggest to the people who support Bernie, who want to change the system, this market-based system, and go back to a more balanced system of not getting rid of capitalism so much as to get capitalism back in line that supports democratic ideas. So it's going back to a balanced, more balanced democratic kind of structure. And the Democratic Party seems to be saying rather clearly that we'd rather risk losing that election than to let that voice of getting some control on the rule of the economic elite by challenging that at all. The reality is, this is, in some ways, this whole thing is on the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, if they chose to listen to the people, they would support Bernie Sanders. On a level playing field, if he had the same advantages and the same kinds of situations that Hillary had, he would have beat her hands down. I mean, against all the obstacles, he still almost beat her. And maybe he did, I don't know. There's a lot of manipulation that went on. So he is more a voice of the people than anyone else. And the Democratic Party could choose to go back to what the Democratic Party used to be. I mean, I've been in the Democratic Party forever. I'm 75 now, and I've been a Democrat all my life, except they've left me. I mean, the state Democratic parties are still quite good, but the Democratic Party on the national level has just walked away from all of the traditional support. They've wanted the unions and the minorities and the workers to support them, except they give nothing back to them. In fact, they take away from all those people, but they expect them to, every time there's an election, to be willing to be exploited again, to get them back in office so that those people can be ignored. And I think the people are catching on. I mean, it's so clear economically what's happened to the middle class and everyone below that the Democratic Party is that level, that national level, is doing us no favors at all. And now they want the Bernie supporters to go in and help them do this kind of thing that to make it all work again. The Democratic Party could choose not to do that. It's a win-win situation if they chose Bernie. And there's still time. Hillary is still the presumptive nominee. There is a convention coming up, and if the Democratic Party wanted to save the party and save the nation and win the election and turn this country back into more of a democracy, they would support Bernie. But I don't think they really want to do that. They'd rather risk losing the election and blaming it on everyone else than jeopardizing their position in terms of power. So that's just something else for you to think about. We'll be talking again later. Thanks a lot. Bye now.